Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to walk you through how to merge sales orders using a server action in ODOO. And this is by request from several people in the comments, so hopefully you'll find it useful too. I really love use cases like this because it helps you understand how the database is structured inside of ODOO and how we can use server actions to manipulate that data. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so here we are in a nice clean demo. Let's make sure we're in developer mode. So click the monkey or go into settings if you need to. And we're going to type server so we can get to our server actions here. Let's go into new, and we're going to call this guy merge sales orders. And we want this server action to execute Python code, so we're going to click execute code. The model is going to be sales orders, or sales order, I should say. So before we hop into the code, let's go over what exactly we're doing here and kind of lay it out for ourselves. So let's duplicate our tab here, and let's go into sales real quick. And let's go into the form view because this explains the structure fairly well. So essentially what we're wanting to do here is make all of the order lines on several sales orders end up on one sales order. Now, if we go into Studio, we can see that these order lines are in a one-to-many relationship here. So if we go into more, you can see this field type is one-to-many, and the relational field is order ID. So thinking through this, all we really need to do is we need to change the order ID on the order lines. Once we've done that, we really just need to clean things up, deleting the old sales orders that no longer have any order lines on them, and making sure whatever information we want on a summary level up at the new combined sales order is there too. So now that we've established what we're going to do, let's go ahead and build this out in code. So we're going to set this up to where when we select several of these, if they're the same customer, it's going to combine them when we go to an action right here. So coming back to our code, we need to decide which sales order is going to be the destination sales order, the one that's going to be left over. Just to keep things simple, we're going to make it the first sales order in that list that we've selected. So to do that, we're going to do something simple here. I'm going to set a count, say count equals 0, and we're going to say for record and records. That means for every single record that we've selected here, we're going to do something. So at the beginning, we're going to add 1 to our count here, okay? And we're going to say if count equals 1, then we're going to set the destination record equal to the current record. Then to help ourselves in the future, we're going to stick a comment here and we're going to say find the destination record. We're also going to say if it isn't the destination sales order, we need to move all the order lines to the destination sales order. Now we're going to use a little bit of that SQL black magic here. Don't burn me at the stake, please. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. But this bit of SQL, what it does is it's going to update our sale order line table on our database, and it's going to set the order ID equal to our destination record ID, which means that it's moving it to that other sales order. And it's doing this where the order ID currently is equal to our record, which basically means that we're moving all the order lines from a record that isn't the destination record to the sales order that we want everything to end up in. Hopefully that makes sense. Now really the last piece is cleaning up those old sales orders, deleting them, getting rid of the ones that aren't our destination sales order. So for that, we're going to do another bit of black magic, and we're going to go to the table, sale order, and delete the sale order where the ID equals the record ID. So essentially, we're moving all the order lines off of the sale order and putting them on the destination sales order, and then we're deleting that sales order that no longer has any order lines. So let's go ahead and try this. There's probably a few things that we need to add, but let's try the basic concept here. So go ahead and make sure you save, and let's create this contextual action here. Let's go back to our sales orders, and we need to refresh to make sure that we get our contextual action. We are expecting everything to go to sales order 69 from all these other sales orders here. So we're going to go to actions and merge sales orders. So I left this error in here just so you could see how this works and so that we can make sure that we're right here. So it says can only concatenate string, not integer. So going back to this, let's look real quick. So this guy right here is actually an integer. You can see that this guy right here has str around it to actually take care of that. So if we stick str around this, we should be good. Go ahead and save. Come back to our sales orders, and we're going to go to actions, merge sales orders again. You can see now we have sales order 69, and it has a ton of order lines on it. So I think we did pretty well. Sorry, I kind of stumbled over my words at the end there, but there are a few other things that we should probably add into this. I would suggest that we add 2 checks in here. One that checks that it's the exact same customer, and another that they're on the same stage, so you don't get a quote randomly getting lumped in with a sales order. You don't necessarily need to have that, but it makes sense to me. So let's go ahead and add those checks in here real quick. So we're going to say else, and we're going to do an if here, and say if record.partnerid.id does not equal our destination record, so our destination sales order partnerid.id, so that's our customer, then we're going to raise a user error and say not all sales orders have the same customer. We're also going to add a little warning in case the state isn't the same. So we're checking partner first. Now we're going to check the state. So if record.state does not equal destination record.state, we're going to say not all sales orders have the same state. Or status. Let's put status. That makes a bit more sense. So let's go into sales orders now, make sure this is saved. And let's try this out and make sure that it's going to work. So looking at it, let's do Deco Addict and Gemini Furniture. Go to Actions, and we're going to say Merge Sales Orders. It says not all sales orders have the same customer. So nice job there. And then we're going to go to Orders, and let's make sure that we can get all of these real quick. I'm going to see what our status is on these and see if we can get a few that aren't a sales order. Do we have any quotations in here? Okay, there we go. So let's try and merge these two. They're both Deco Addict, so it passes that test. The status is not the same. So let's go to Actions and go to Merge Sales Orders, and it says not all sales orders have the same status. So pretty good. Lastly, let's go ahead and check that it still works for all the other sales orders, the ones that have the same status, same customer. So we've selected both of these. We would expect this to be about 307,000, 800 about. After this is done, so let's go to Actions and let's go to Merge Sales Orders. Okay, looking at this, it looks like one of the things that we did miss is that it's not updating out here our total. Okay, so I dug through the code and I found a function that we can use to do this for us. Okay, so in digging through the code, I found this little action right here that allows us to say compute amounts. So on the destination record, we're going to set compute amounts after everything else is done here. So let's test this one last time. So we're coming in, we've got your company. I would expect this guy to, actually we'll skip this one. Let's go to, let's find a good example here. Go to orders. Okay, and Gemini Furniture. Let's combine these two. So those are both in the same state. I would expect this to end up being about 43,000. So let's go to Actions, Merge Sales Orders, and it looks like it's working perfectly now. Now I'm adding the code to the description below so that you can copy and paste this, but as always, please be careful with this. Make sure and test it in a staging for yourself first. Don't just drop this in and expect it to work 100% of the time. I did build this in 17, and functions tend to change in versions of ODOO. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this and that you find it helpful, even if it's just for the code. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below, or grab some time on my Calendly if you need a bit more time. As always, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.